Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to New York Urbanist. All right. So, budget crisis is going on in New York City, and this is because Kathy Hochul, Governor Kathy Hochul, refuses to tax the rich. She refuses to support taxes on the rich, and I'm guessing this is because she doesn't want rich people spending money against her campaign. But like, girl, you're running for governor. Like, they're going to do that, and you have to be able to forcefully and aggressively stand up for the people of New York and tax the rich. Look, if it was up to me, I would confiscate every penny over $1 billion, and I would put the billionaires in jail for 5 years and not allow them to be a officer of a company, and I wouldn't allow them to participate in any of the financial markets as a punishment for stealing wages and or overcharging individual people, i.e., greed. So, so now that we have that out of the way, so Kathy Hochul refuses to tax the rich, and Mamdani's been going through and publicly going through a number of ideas. One of them was raising property taxes on homeowners to fill the budget gap. Blah blah blah. And some people don't like that, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at New York real estate. It's $1 million real estate. So when I think about the fact that it's like $1 million real estate, fetching average rent of like $4,000 or $5,000 a month for a 1 bedroom, I'm sorry, I'm not that sympathetic to the property owners, but I'm slightly sympathetic. So going on now, here you have Mayor Mamdani, the deputy mayor. He's talking about potentially charging for street parking. It's a huge subsidy for drivers to be able to park on the street for free. So yeah, so they're considering charging for on-street parking, a gift to car owners everywhere, parking on the street for free, not paying anything, and it makes it harder to walk down the street, harder to be seen, and more difficult for people driving and cycling. So, uh, so we have this Center for Urban Future. They are like one of those like nonprofit groups, and they're saying that metering just 1/4 of the currently free spaces would generate $1.3 billion annually, while improving turnover for local businesses and reducing congestion. Now, some people are against tying charging for parking to the budget crisis, and I totally get that because yeah, it's a problem. So Sarah Lind of Open Plan says there are currently 3 million free parking spaces in New York City, and this is unacceptable. But it's critical that when we price parking, we aren't tying it to any specific budget needs that would lock in car infrastructure and make it harder to repurpose that space in the future. Priced parking should be dynamic, reflective of demand, and easily adjustable. We should price parking for its own sake, not only as a means to filling a budget gap. So, yeah, I'm with her. I agree. We should only be charging for parking as we would charge for any service that the city is providing. Certainly, if we're charging people for riding the bus, we should be charging people for parking their vehicle. Like New York City is in a car storage unit. Uh, in New York City, when you park your car in the garage, they charge you a fee every month or every day or every hour, whatever the plan is. So in any case, yes, I agree with Sarah Lind. We should just be doing this anyway, charging for parking, regardless of anything else, untied to any concerns about the budget. So one other thing I want to note is that people love this argument that charging for parking means charging the middle class, hurting the middle class, sticking it to the middle class. Not in New York City. The middle class in New York City does not own cars, most of them. So the people who own cars make an average of $93,000 a year in income. And the average person who doesn't own a car makes $100,000 a year in income. And so I just want to point that out, that the people who don't drive, which is the majority of New York City, the middle and working class, they do not drive. They take the train. Hell, we have a car and I still take the train. I ride the bus, I ride the city bike or my own bike. And so whenever somebody says, "Oh, you're hurting the poor," and what about people who live in other cities? Um, that it is not hurting the poor in New York City empirically. And number two, it is people in other cities. Well, my concern is with people living in New York, and those are the people that I have to prioritize first, and then everyone else comes next. So just want to make that point. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. I realize this is probably the hot take for some people who drive. Well, it's not a hot take for me. I drive. I got my license. I get it renewed. I keep it up, all that. So yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll talk about other issues here on New York Urbanist. All right. Take care. Ciao, ciao.